Hey, I just wanted to talk about something I don't ever see really many people mention except in passing, which is clips and ties and things that you might want to use in your van to hold things down or to mount things. I'm going to talk about some stuff that sucks that you shouldn't waste your money on, and I'm going to talk about the best thing that I know, which is not pictured here yet. So let's start off with this damn thing. This is, one of those. It's just basically a piece of wire. Like if I wasn't holding the camera with one hand, and maybe even without it, you can just bend this thing open. There's very little tenacity to it. If not immediately upon purchase, very quickly thereafter, you'll find that they don't have a lot of clearance. And to get the max clearance, see, like if I press like kind of normally hard, that's about what I get, and all the way down until I'm like crushing this thing open to get it onto something. This coating is slippery. It's not rubberized or anything. It's that kind of slick plastic. And these things just suck. I hate these things. I will throw away every single one of these that I find as I'm going through the van to get it, ready for the next, phase of its prototyping. I hate these things. I had a bunch of them when I was on the road, and they suck. Anyway, um, there's also a very wide variety of clips and things like this. Now, this particular thing is like a hobby sort of wood clip or like for crafts and stuff. This is not really something you want to use like, to hold on to things in your van. It's better for like cables. Like, you could definitely do this kind of thing with it in lieu of having like a cable tie on there, or a bread tie or twist tie on there. You could do this kind of stuff with it. But, even though this looks like, oh, that's like strong, like the pincing strength of this at those two ends is really not very great. Unless it can fully encapsulate whatever it's holding on to, it's really not a good solution. So, they are good for certain things. Mounting or holding stuff in your van is definitely not one of them. These things are great. They share a problem with the reason that this is sitting here. Um, this is very not strong. Anything that looks like a bread tie or a little twist tie that came on a cable, if you put this on two hooks, a very small child could tear it apart. They're not strong at all. They might be good for securing little wires and stuff where they're already supposed to be, to keep them bundled up or whatever, but they provide no strength whatsoever. The same with these little key ring ends. These things are not strong. I don't know if you've ever seen what happens when you put a lot of torsion on one of these, but they'll just bend open, or just, if you put it on something, two like posts on the inside and pull it apart, it'll just pull straight apart. There's absolutely no strength to that. I'm sure it's just, nickel, like probably almost no chrome. It's, you know, not strong. So what do you do? Oh, right. There's one more thing over here, and it's these things. And these are okay for very specific applications. And one of these applications is what I've done here. I've just encapsulated into the cable so that it just is kind of a guide for the cable. And this normally sits like back up under, like over here, under the dash, and it holds that cable for the phone charger just out of the way. Because I haven't got into, this is again a prototype, and I haven't got into drilling dash holes or permanent mountings. I'm trying to figure everything out the way that I like it. So that's not really a great mounting solution, though. It might be for just one cable in the back somewhere where it's not ever going to get bumped, and the metal you're putting it on has a lip on it, so it's not going to easily come off of there, and it's got enough clearance for the little triangle inside. Very specific applications. They're okay, but really that's not very good of a solution for anything. I used to try to clip up like hangers and stuff to like the seat belts, and it doesn't really those things have no gripping strength. They're intended for paper, and they're intended not to tear paper. So while they might have like pincing strength, they have no grip whatsoever. You could probably actually solve that with like can spray rubber or something. Now I think about it, but not worth the time, the waste, whatever. Um, Now you have these things, cable ties. Depending on the cable ties that you buy and the application that you use them in, i.e., are they UV cable ties? What temperatures are they rated for? What kind of plastic it is? They can be a really great solution, but they are cable ties. They're meant to tie cables together. What do you do? How do you mount stuff to the sides of your van in a way that's easily removable, but you can put it back in areas that might be shaped funny, in areas that might have odd, glass shapes? You want to put stuff that will adhere to glass. Probably you want to put up panels or whatever in your windows, like I used to have in here. I went through so many different, like I tried magnets, all kinds of solutions to try to get that to work. Finally, the other day, I discovered this. These are like ultra strong Velcro. They have 3M adhesive on them, and they seem to stay really well and really tight. I can peel them back off, interestingly enough, but it takes a lot of effort to do that. I'm pretty sure it has to be done right away. But here's an example. Like, this thing is not going anywhere. It doesn't rattle in the car, on the bumps or whatever. It's pretty well fastened, and I can just pull it right off there. It points right at where the remote IR is, and it works fine. It's below it, but it doesn't seem to matter. And I can just stick it right back on there, and it's fastened all over again. I have no doubt whatsoever that this adhesive would hold to glass over time. I use a lot of damn things on glass that didn't work or didn't stick well enough, or they did stick. Like, all those strip magnets, they stick really well. But you got to basically ring that panel in those strip magnets and use good strip magnets in order for that to work, because otherwise it just falls out of there. There's just no holding strength in those little strip magnets. It's like somebody waved another magnet at it. They're not really like strips of magnets or anything. They're just like some barely magnetic ferrous plastic, amalgam of some kind. But these things are awesome, and they're so easy to use. This pack came all pre-cut like this. It was maybe like $5 or $6, and there are 36 of these things in here. So you could do 18 mounting points for just a few dollars and actually have them last. You might be able to get away with just pinning stuff up, but you are not going to want to live with that long term, and you're going to want something that really can hold to the sides of like car interior, that has an adhesive that seems almost designed for that very purpose. I actually have no problem putting 2 of these on my cell phone case and strapping the cell phone case to the dash with this stuff. It's really strong. I'm pushing these together right now, and they just go together like that. It's like, you've seen this stuff before. It's like super Velcro. So as far as fasteners and mounting things are concerned, if you're looking to not damage things, this, Scotch with the 3M adhesive is the best thing that I found. I got this at Home Depot, by the way. And it's actually in the clearance section. The best way not to damage things and mount stuff is this, in my opinion. If you are willing to damage things, heck, go ahead. Just put up whatever mounting points you want, drill holes, all that kind of stuff. I am willing to do that, and I've been tearing this van apart lately, but I like to heavily plan before I drill holes in anything. If you want temporary solution for mounting stuff in your van, you want to put up like some curtains you only use at night, some panels in the windows. I love this mounting tape.